The Three Gorges Dam is the largest hydropower project ever built. And when construction started in 1994, it was designed not only to generate electricity to propel China's great economic development, but also tame China's longest river and shield millions of people from floods. And also, it's a huge symbol of China's technological prowess. It didn't always work out perfect, so there have been some problems along the way. So welcome to this video. I am going to highlight all about the Three Gorges Dam and positive and negative effects. So I'm making this video primarily for my IGCSE students, but if you have an interest in the Three Gorges Dam, then please watch along because I'm sure it will help you. Right, I'm going to share my screen now. Let's just flick back to here. Okay, so the Yangtze River is the river that the Three Gorges Dam is built on. So Yangtze is actually not a Chinese word. The river is called in Chinese the Changjiang. Okay, kind of like the long river. And the Three Gorges Dam is called the Sanxia Daba. And I was lucky enough to live in China and visit the Three Gorges kind of in its infancy, well, kind of as it was being flooded. So I saw places that are currently now submerged under the water, which is quite amazing, and it makes it a real source of fascination for me. So where is it then? The source of the river is way up in the Himalayas up here, and it winds its way pretty much all the way through China, and it comes out into the Yellow Sea here by Shanghai. This river is quite amazing, really. It passes through so many of these tier 1, tier 2, really big Chinese cities. Chengdu's there, Chongqing, Wuhan, Nanjing, Shanghai, so many cities. And if we look at the shaded area, this is the river basin. So basically any water that falls as precipitation in this area will find its way into that Yangtze River. So it really brings the water in it from such a huge distance. We're talking about wild distances here in China. China's really big. So let's zoom in on this map then and see where the dam is. We can see here, it's between Chongqing and Wuhan here. And there are many tourist boats you can get actually from Chongqing that will go all the way to the dam. Really interesting. It's called the Three Gorges Dam because the river winds its way through these gorges. They're very picturesque. Until it gets down, of course, to the dam itself. Here's the dam. This is what it looks like, absolutely immense. And this water here in this reservoir that's been created here is 181 meters deep. So it's super deep. And we can see these cities here just nestled really close to the river. The force of which the water is pushed out of this dam can be controlled, and it's this force of the river that generates the turbines to create the electricity. And you can see in this picture here. So this picture is taken, I think this area is probably flooded now here, or maybe it can be controlled, but this is, I think I remember standing very close to this when I went here. I'm not sure if you can do that anymore. Right, so let's have a little look then. I did this with my IGCSE group. Right, you are looking for one truth and 2 lies amongst these sentences. So which one is the lie, 2 or true? So the idea of the Three Gorges Dam was imagined way back in 1919. Do you think that's true or false? What do you think? It makes loads of electricity. And the dam created a forced migration, making 100,000 people move house. What do you think? They're all pretty plausible, aren't they, maybe? But actually, yes, it was imagined way back in 1919. The leaders in China knew that they needed to create something like this. The plans went down long ago, and it makes tons of electricity. Yeah, I think it's something like 20% of, I'm not quite sure exactly on that statistic, of China's electricity. And the dam no, this is the lie here. This is the lie. So the dam made over 1 million people move house. It's very hard to get exact statistics on it. It lies somewhere between 1 million and 1.3 million, depends which source you're looking at. It's quite difficult to get exact numbers. So the dam cost approximately $37 billion to build, maybe a bit more, and it submerged 13 cities, 140 towns, and almost 2,000 villages, which is quite incredible, really. There's a really good documentary called Up the Yangtze, and it follows different families who live by the river. And it actually, at the end, it's really sad. It's got this kind of moment where the river, like a time-lapse footage of the water coming over the family's home. You definitely check that one out. I'll put the link down below. So let's have a look. And this is kind of like maybe more of the kind of middle course of the river. It's huge, wide. We've got these meanders here going through these gorges, this really steep slope here. And obviously China has got great infrastructure. It's really well connected. It's got these great bridges and tunnels that kind of run alongside. Well, I saw this bridge actually when I was there, and the water level was a little bit lower. I remember looking up to it being really, really high up. Let's get a little aerial footage. So then way back in 1987, this is what the river looked like here. And then 2006, and the dam was under construction here. And this wasn't the full extent. It has been flooded further, so that reservoir is still deeper. As it was being flooded, they had markers on the side of the river of the number of meters. So this would be like the 156 meter point. And then this would be the 175 meter point. So obviously it was flooded in the stages. Okay, another aerial shot here. So slightly later than the one we looked at before. There you can see, obviously there's a difference in the colours of the river there, but also the difference in the settlements here. And you can see how many people have been moved there. It's quite amazing, really. Some more markers as it goes up the river. And then obviously with the flooding, these little narrow gorges that are kind of tributaries of the river, the water has been pushed up, and these kind of habitats and these little gorges have been sadly lost. Right, so let's look at some of the pros and cons. So one of the huge benefits is it offers a massive renewable power resource. It is clean energy and it powers so much. It's really gives people a reliable source of power. It's improved hundreds of kilometers of waterway. So it's improved shipping there for lots of people. It has stopped many of the flash flooding that happens. So people are perhaps safer. The access is improved along the river. Yeah, people can get to different places by river. Jobs have increased, obviously people working in the construction of the dam, and also people working in the power station itself. And it has given, with this huge reservoir, a really reliable water supply for people downstream. So it's not affected by seasons. So in the drier seasons, there's still this body of water to call upon to give water to China's hugely growing population and industry as well. But however, it has created a human migration problem. People were given money to relocate, and their houses were built for them. And for a lot of people, that was a positive. They were able to move into kind of more modern housing that was better built. Better hospitals, this kind of thing, better designed cities. But for a lot of people, especially the older generation, they were leaving their homes that they'd lived in for years. Maybe their families had owned it for hundreds of years. They were losing their farming land. There was a lot to lose. Three Gorges Dam has drastically changed the landscape. We can see, can't we, from those aerial footage, how that reservoir has changed, and the little narrow gorges as well. It has been known to trigger earthquakes. I don't know whether it had any effect on the big Sichuan earthquake they had in, I think it was 2011. A huge earthquake killed 70,000 people, really big one. It was in the vicinity. It's pretty hard to know the truth, whether it did affect that. But I know that it has been proven that the weight on kind of fault lines of that water in one specific place can trigger earthquakes. It is pretty high risk as well. If it flooded, think about all those huge cities and things downstream, they would be very much at risk. And lost history, yeah, there were many temples, and there was a site of ancient kind of scriptures on rock that were completely submerged. They actually made an underwater museum, which is quite amazing. But yeah, lots and lots of history has been lost. And there is a really big silt build up behind the wall itself. So as the river travels down here, it brings with it all the sediment, carries it with it, and it deposits it here. So this is something that does have to be dredged and carefully maintained. So a big mix there of pros and cons. So let's look at some real pictures then. I think this is a really interesting picture. You can see here the older cities have been cleared here where this man is sitting, and the city's been rebuilt further up, and they've just kind of landscaped this part here to make way for the water rising. And now the water would be up here. This is another picture. You can see the old city here, and the bigger city has been moved up there. And one of the most tragic things really about this, and this is a city called Kaixien, which was completely moved, completely destroyed. They went round, the Chinese authorities put this, they put this character Chai on the houses in red, which means to be demolished. And often a lot of people had to demolish their own homes for moving. I mean, sometimes the authorities did help and the government did help, but a lot of people actually had to move their own things, literally move up the mountain with their own goods and their own houses. So some of the things that were lost under the water. Here's another one of the city moving up. But yeah, big, huge, dramatic change, a huge dramatic change. So I hope this video was helpful and it helps you understand what changes the Three Gorges Dam has brought to Chinese people and the benefits of that and the pros of it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think it is a good thing? Do you think it brings about more benefits? Should China build more of these dams? Or what do you think? Or do you think it's got far too many negative implications? Let me know in the comments. And if you're interested in joining my IGCSE group, or if you've learned something from this video, like and subscribe and ding that bell, and then you'll know when the next video is out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.